Dr. Phillip Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Can I begin by emphasising my own personal disgust at the revelations that have come out over recent days, particularly those with regards to the member for Kirkcaldy and Cowdenbeath. I really can't imagine what it must be like to see one's child's health records in the public domain. I would like to step back from what we've been discussing so far. I think it's important that those members of this House, that we do this at times of a storm. We shouldn't be in the middle of it. We should be stepping back and to discuss media plurality in reality as it is now in this world. The way in which individuals search for news and indeed share news is changing, has changed. And the idea that the ownership of one news channel watched by a relatively small number of people should concern us greatly. I would suggest that the ownership of search engines and social media should concern us more. A few facts from the US. Recently, the Pew Research, Google is the biggest single driver of traffic to news sites in the United States. Facebook has 500 million users worldwide. An increasing importance for Facebook is that it shares news. It's a way of people communicating with each other and passing on stories. They don't turn on Sky News to get them, they're getting them from friends on Facebook. In this country, over 90% of searches online go through Google. 95% in Europe and the wider world. Now, why am I so interested in this? Well, I have a company on my patch called Foundem. Foundem is a company with 3 employees, European Competition Commission, launched in 2006, a company, a vertical search engine, and were allegedly suppressed by Google. Now, they happen to be a vertical search engine for washing machines and for motorcycle helmets. But news is also a commodity. If Google can suppress a company like that, they can suppress a new organisation. They can point you in the direction of finding your news. So when you obsess about trying to make Mr. Murdoch the bogeyman of the now, this is past. This is not the way it's going to be in the future. It's going to be about where people get their news from, and it won't be necessarily the news of the world. By concentrating on one man at the moment is missing the point, is my central thrust. News has changed. The way in which people communicate has changed. In the future, I would be more concerned. Of course I will give way.
Would you accept that part of the revulsion against News International, has been the fact that it became a virtual state within the state, running to its own set of rules, above the law, and feeling as if it didn't have to follow even the rules of moral decency? Would you agree that, in fact, one of the issues that we have with organisations like Facebook and Google is that they cannot be also allowed to become above the law and above the laws of moral decency in what they too publish and the things that people post?
I agree with that. I mean, it's a statement of the obvious, isn't it, really? I am concerned that we do have a media state in this country. I saw an interview with somebody on the BBC recently, a former deputy editor of the News of the World, who stated this. This concerns me greatly, but the media is changing, is my point. I mean, I don't need to comment upon someone's fit and proper right to own a newspaper or a news organisation. That's for others. My point is at the moment we don't have control over where a lot of people are seeking to get their news from, and we have absolutely no idea with what they're getting is the truth or not, because there is no check. And that is why I agree with you. Now, I don't want to take up too much. Of course, I'll give way.
I'm grateful to my honourable friend for making such serious and valid points. And does he recognise that the regulation of new media is so much more difficult than even the regulation of the press, and therefore makes it so much more unpredictable and manageable?
Dr. Phillip Lee.
Yes, I do. And I think this is the problem, is that we need cross-border understanding on this. And I think getting some sense of an international legal framework, well, good luck with that. That is very difficult, but that is the challenge that we have. Now, I don't want to take up all of my time because I know others want to speak. The other day, the Chamber will indulge me. I will quote 4 lines of poetry. I heard this the other day from a modern poet: "The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past." I think we should remember those words, because that is actually where we are now. there is a danger that we are going to obsess about the ownership of BSkyB by whoever it is, whether it's Mr. Murdoch or whether the Ofcom announcement this afternoon, it may be someone else in the future. But we may obsess about one component of media and its importance will have passed. It will no longer be important to us politicians who clearly need to get our message over, but need to do so by having a professional relationship with the person who has the control over that message being presented to the public. So in closing, I guess my point is that let's just remember that the world is changing very quickly, that in the future governments of any colour, be it red or blue, be it abroad or at home, need to be very, very cautious about their relationships with businesses such as Google, such as Facebook, such as Twitter, because they are the media giants of the future, and they may just be as capable. They may just be as capable of employing people who have committed the crimes alleged in recent days, as News International has done in the past. And we should bear that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you very much.